I think rent to own is interesting. I think it can work for some categories. If you look at the overall market, I'm quite happy to see there are multiple options as of today. So that's great. So you got the typical bank financing, but banks typically only want to finance the M40 to T20. The B40, to a large extent, have got very limited financing option. And because they're also not financially educated to a large degree, it causes them slightly more difficulty, or even more difficulty in terms of being able to secure financing. So with all this rent to own, peer-to-peer financing, it's an option. I think rent to own will work. I think peer-to-peer will most likely have a lot of challenges. Number one, because it's new, and number two, based on the guideline, the framework that has been announced, it seems to be very unfriendly. I'll give you an example. Typically, you need a 10% down payment to go and buy a property. Okay, but under the peer-to-peer, you need 20% down payment. So, what is already supposedly the poor who's having problems trying to raise 10% now have to save up 20%. That's point number one. Point number two here, the worry for me when it comes to peer-to-peer here is that it's going to be used to sell unsold inventory by property developers who are not pricing the product correctly in the first place. Right? So it can be open for abuse if we don't monitor this properly. Right? So there's a lot of if here. Right? So the if is something that we really have to really look and monitor so that it doesn't open up for abuse. If you put in a property which is already overvalued by 50,000 to 100,000 under the P2P, that defeats the purpose of trying to help. You're just systematically transferring the risk of a lousy property from the developer who couldn't sell it to an unsuspecting, property buyer, right? So to me, I think rent to own will work. I think rent to own is great, and if we tighten up the scheme a little bit more, even better. I like the idea of subsidized housing, the Rumah PPA, Prima, the Rumah WIP. Location-wise has been good, price point has been very decent. I love the idea. I think if you're a first-time home buyer, I don't suggest you to look at anything else other than this category of properties.